back to Inside Eastern Utah. I'm Scotty Draper, and we are now here with Kyle Heffernan. Kyle is a familiar face in the community who's just come back to head the Price Sutherlands. And Kyle, you have lived in Price before. You worked with Wayne Clausing, who managed the store before, and now you're back.
Yeah.
So do you want to tell us a bit about what brought you here?
Well, originally, of course, I worked up in Salt Lake store with Wayne Clausing. He was the assistant manager at that time. And I'd worked with him at various stores. We had a West Jordan store. Also, we had two in Salt Lake and a West Valley store. And then our West Jordan store was about to go through a major overhaul. But Mr. Sutherland found an open store down here in Price, and we thought it was a great move. So Wayne recruited a handful of people, including myself, and we moved down here and we opened the store 13 years ago.
Yes, and you were here for how long until you moved?
For about 7 years,
Yes.
And then about 6 years ago, I got promoted, went up to Casper, Wyoming. Now, that is quite a different place to live, much colder, much windier.
Yes, more snow.
Yeah.
So you have been with the Sutherlands company for 24 years. Sutherland's going 100 years strong this year, actually, and you've been there for 24 of those. So how did you get into it to start with? How did you start in the company?
Well, I grew up in Michigan, and I was taking architecture classes out there. And then I happened to be working at Builders Square, which was a lumber yard owned by Kmart at that time.
Okay.
And then I moved out to Utah to finish schooling, and my second day in Utah, I got a job at Sutherlands up Salt Lake City. At the time, it was on Redwood Road, not where it is now on North Temple. And that's, I met Wayne at the North Temple store. Because the North Temple store was being built based on the Builders Square model that I worked at, they grabbed me right up.
Oh, perfect.
And then so, of course, worked there for quite a few years, going between the stores in the valley, and then when the opportunity came to move down here, Wayne, myself, and a few others just came down here, opened up the store, and it kind of got things going down here, and it really was a great opportunity, and it was a very good move on the part of Sutherland's to move down here.
Yes, Sutherland's has been great for this community over these past years. I think it's been kind of a staple for a lot of people. I know as a homeowner myself, I've frequented quite a few times. But I think what is really great is you have had a lot of experience with the store. I mean, you were part of what made it possible here. So I'm sure it's exciting for you to return and kind of see that through.
Yeah. Of course, the first few years are always a trial and error period. And, when we opened up 13 years ago, that's quite different than when I left 7 or 6 years ago. And, of course, it's quite different now when I return. But, it's not change for the worse or the best. It's just evolution.
Yes.
We're always evolving. And the Sutherland's lumber, we've been around for 100 years, and it's not because we stay the same.
Yes.
Times have changed, technologies have changed, and we just go with the demands of what's, the current events.
And I think that's what's important. If you want to grow and evolve and stay current, you definitely have to change with the times and, take it as it comes. So what can people expect now that you're managing the store? A lot of things will continue on, business as usual, I'm sure. But do you have any visions for the future? Or are you just trying to get everything wrapped around right now?
Well, it is business as usual. All Sutherlands that I've worked at have believed in working with the community very well. We do a lot community service, where the other big box stores don't. You don't see the Home Depots or the Menards or the Lowe's contributing as much as each Sutherlands does in their community. As far as vision for the future, get more technologically advanced. Right now we have a better printer system where we don't have to handwrite everything, which takes time and it's sloppy. One of the newest features that I love is that you can now go onto our website, sutherlands.com, and actually purchase things and then have it ready at the store the next day. That is new to us. We just started it here since I've been here.
I was going to say, I did not know you guys did that. That is so beneficial. And in this day and age, I mean, everyone has the internet, everyone has a phone. If they can just go through and click, it that'll make it a lot easier.
Yeah, and I noticed most of these are, somewhere around 10 o'clock or midnight where people are just cruising the internet and they just want to purchase it.
Uh-huh.
And it makes it great because, next day we have it ready for them.
That's nice too, because if you're anything like me, you think of something and you're like, oh, I need to get that next time I go to the store. But then I forget by the time I get to the store everything that was on my list. So while you're thinking about it, just go on and order it and you guys will have it all ready for them.
Yeah.
And you can view your local ads online as well.
Yes, yeah, you can see any current promotions or events going on.
And I think that's something that Sutherlands does really great as well, is there's always new promotions and new sales, stuff to keep things interesting and also offer great rates to the shoppers.
Right, and another thing we're working on for next spring is better purchasing. For example, on our lumber, we're going to try to order right from the mills rather than the middleman, which will make better lumber, but better pricing for everybody.
Yes, so because if it's a better price for you, then it's a better price for the customers,
Absolutely,
obviously.
we pass it on.
Yes, and there's a couple big sales every year that you guys are involved in, and they're huge. I mean, Black Friday, of course, is an important one, but also your anniversary sale in the spring when everyone's starting to think about renovations and then getting their yard ready, that's going to be coming up as well.
Yeah, April, perfect time because that's, when things are really getting going. And it'll be 14 years for us. And that'll mean the Sutherlands has been around for more than 100 years. It'll be 101st year. And, you don't see a lot of companies have that longevity. That is a long time for a lot of companies. We've been through, the Great Depression, World Wars. But this anniversary sale, of course, it's a way to celebrate us being here 14 years, but it's really a way of giving back to the community.
Yes.
Give a nice thank you for supporting us for all this time.
Yes, and you do that as well through various events. Say for Mother's Day, Father's Day, you have activities for the kids. They can come in, make something for mom and dad. Mom and dad can get their shopping done. So I think that's something that is really unique and, like you mentioned before, that you don't see in these big box stores. Sutherlands really does pride itself on that community outreach and connecting with the community.
Yeah, Mother's Day is one of my favorites. Number one, it has flowers and live goods, and it's just, I love being outside. But more importantly, it brings people in who are super excited about their yards, and so it's, when someone repairs a broken toilet, they're usually not happy. But when someone's planting flowers,
they're happy. They're happy customers.
Yeah, and they come in and get all that, and they'll be repeat customers. They'll come back because they just keep wanting to buy more flowers or get the garden tools or the the fertilizers, and we have all that.
Yes, and a great selection of it too. I mean, every year there's just so much to choose from.
Yeah, and one of my favorite parts of Mother's Day was being outside giving the kids flowers, and just seeing them run around and plant things, and just they're so happy to give it to their mom.
Yes, they're so excited, and those events are made possible obviously by your staff as well. You have a good team there, a big team. Can you tell us a bit about what their experience there, what you're expecting from them in these upcoming years?
Well, we do have a handful of staff that's been there almost since the beginning, 10 years plus. But we really do have a good staff. We have some very knowledgeable people that can help you with your electrical work, your plumbing work, how to do flooring, and they kind of really know their thing.
If I can speak to that real quick, I'm always amazed by how helpful and how much time each staff member will take. My husband and I, we were remodeling our house, and we were looking for some tool, and we found it, but we had no clue how to use it. And one of your staff members took it was probably 15, 20 minutes. He unboxed the tool, he showed us how to use it, he gave us examples, and really walked us through the whole process. And that customer service is really unique, I feel like, to the store. They really take time for the customers.
Yeah, they do. And I'm very blessed to be working with the people I've been working with. But you just reminded me, one of our new features that we also added was we have a on our website, we also have an e-catalog, which is a catalog of special orders we can get in within a week.
Oh.
So that is another service we provide, where you don't have to wait a month, or you don't have to wait a day for someone to research it. We can go right to any computer in our store, find out almost instantly if it's available, and get it the next week. So that is very helpful.
That's impressive. I mean, you guys obviously have a very wide selection at the store now, but it's really just opening more doors for you and giving people more options to get what they need locally in a timely manner too.
Yeah, it's been a great tool, and I hope we can expand on it. We're limited in size on our store. We can't carry everything. We are a warehouse type store, but we're not a big box warehouse. They're so much larger. But if we can get it quick, that it just makes it easier for the customer. They don't have to drive over the mountain.
That's a fantastic option. And I know we're getting in winter is, well, it's officially here. It's cold. I'm freezing. But what does the store do? I mean, obviously in the summer, it's all about the yard. We're all about the live plants and the grass. But what do you guys focus on in the winter? I know there's furniture for customers to kind of give them a different taste for the winter time.
Well, spring takes a lot of planning, so a lot of it is behind the scene planning for springtime. But during the winter, it's mostly inside remodel projects. With the holidays, a lot of people like to redo their kitchens. They like to, paint. Painting is always good during the winter. New flooring, carpeting. So yeah, it's not any major projects, but it's all inside work.
Yes, and you certainly, I think another thing that you guys have done really well is keeping current, and as each season changes, as times change, and as tastes change, you guys change with it, and you are always looking at the newest products and the best products and unique ones as well.
Yeah, in fact, today we're actually placing our statue order for next spring. And we've selected some really neat product, some crazy stuff, something out of the ordinary that you just can't find at, perhaps a Walmart or anything. So, when you get it from us, your neighbor's not going to have it.
Yes, and do you get to pick the items that come in?
I do. I let several of our staff members pick.
So you can kind of get different views and stuff. That's fun, though.
Oh, yeah.
That'd be a fun part of the job. Well, we appreciate you taking some time to join us, and obviously we're very happy to have you back. And you worked with Wayne a bit before he left and kind of made the transition go more smoothly that way. Is there anything else you want to speak to let people know, what they can expect for Sutherland's? Obviously been some changes, but there's going to be some good stuff coming up in the future as well.
Well, yeah, I wouldn't say changes, but more taking what we've already built upon and just making additions to or upgrades on, and hopefully make it a easier, better way to shop. But it's not just me. It wasn't just Wayne. It was the whole staff, and then a great company to work for. We have about 60 stores. They're across the U.S. So we have a large team, a lot of experience that goes into these stores. And but our number one reason is our customers. And this Price and this whole county and the surrounding areas have been very supportive. And for a small town to have such a large percentage of this town shopping at our store is great.
Yes.
And I'd like to thank everyone out there.
Yes, well, we'd like to thank you as well as your staff and the Sutherlands company as a whole for the investment they've made in this community. I think it's been really beneficial, and I think people certainly appreciate the work you guys are doing over there.
Well, thank you for having me over here today.
Okay, thank you, Kyle, and thank you for joining another episode of Inside Eastern Utah. Stay tuned, we're going to have more of your favorite programming coming up on ETV Channel 10.